Hello everybody and welcome to Meditation Monday. I just wanted to pop on and talk to you a little bit about alternative forms of meditation. So when we hear meditation, people think they have to be still and be in the lotus position and sitting there with their fingers in a mudra saying Om. And people think, ugh, that just does not sound like something I would enjoy. Well, I'm here to say you can meditate in any position, any movement, and I'm going to show you a way to make your mind be still, which is the point of meditation, to quiet the mind and be in the moment. So I'm looking forward to showing you this little thing that I have for you today. The examples that I want to show you today for doing a meditation while in action of doing something are creating optical illusions. And what this does is it helps you to focus on the moment and stay in the now and release thoughts and just be. One of the most common optical illusions that you can create is manipulating a checkerboard pattern to make it look like it is receding in space, and you'll notice that that is what most of the images were in the examples that you've seen already in this video. But you simply just start with creating a grid, and you can measure these out if you want, or just eyeball it. The more precise you are with it, the better it turns out. On this example, it's just the grid. On this one, I'll show you how they do the circles that look like they're bulging out. So we'll put one right here, and you can use you can manipulate these going the other direction as well if you'd like. Again, just for the sake of this exercise, keeping it a little bit simpler. Now within the circle space, you want to erase all the lines running through it. Where that line meets the edge of the circle, you have to imagine that it's going to curve through that space before it connects to the other side. So curve through, and you can make it bulge a lot or just a little. And then once you cross that center line, you curve the other direction, and that's where the magic happens. There we go. Pretty simple, right? Sometimes you forget a line. I had this line connected to both of these, so my checkers got off, but I got it solved. back in business. So another one that you can do is creating a curve using only straight lines. This is a fun one that anyone of any age can do. All you need for all of these really is paper, pencil, and a ruler. So for this one, you want to give yourself some guides, and I'm going to do fewer than this example. So you want to make sure however many marks you make on one side, you have that same number of marks on the other side. 10 evenly spaced marks on that side, so we need 10 evenly spaced marks on this side. Now this side is a shorter line, so you have to adjust accordingly. So then you go from first mark to furthest mark, and so forth. And the more marks, more lines you make, the more smooth your curve will be. You'll see the difference between this sample and what I'm creating now. This one with fewer marks will be more jagged, less of a smooth curve. And the last one I'm going to show you is one that kept me occupied for many, many hours as a child. And it's not as precise. You don't have to measure anything. You just have to pay attention to where your lines go. So what I'm going to do is where that first line went, stop, and then start again on the other side. What that does is creates the illusion that one is on top of the other. And you can do all of these strands the same size or alter them in size. See how I stopped at each line? So we're not actually drawing any lines over the top of other lines. If you make them smaller as you're working, it will appear that they're getting farther away. Just like we did with making the lines in the checkerboard closer together. Made it appear like it was receding. And again, it's not about perfection. It's just about being in this moment right now. Quieting your mind, focusing on the task at hand. And I find the optical illusions make that easier than working on a coloring page, because you have to pay attention to what you're doing. You can do these with markers, pen, pencil. My pens actually smear with the ruler going over them, so that's why I'm working in pencil. Plus, I can fix little oopses. And then once you finish drawing all your lines in, you can color these or leave them. possibilities are endless. The more you put in, just like with that checkerboard, the more lines you have, the more realistic the illusion. This is something that you can work on for hours and hours and really create quite the matrix of space. Whoop, I just drew that line right through. Another benefit of working in pencil. But if you're working in marker and you draw a line right through, it's okay. You can always come back and color. Fill in each bar as its own space. But I have the ability to erase. Alright, so there are 3 different ways to quiet the mind and be in the moment again. Coloring in a coloring book will also help. Painting, any creative process that you can really get into what it is that you're doing will help you to still your mind and just focus on the task at hand. And then once you've mastered that in your creative processes, you can live that every day, every moment of your life. Hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for joining me on this Meditation Monday. Bye, everybody.